In the heart of Vienna, where marble statues whisper the echoes of Mozart and Beethoven, the Grand Marlowe Concert Hall was preparing for its most anticipated night of the year, the International Virtuosos Gala. Among the velvet seats and polished floors, the chandeliers gleam like the eyes of the elite. Critics, musicians, aristocrats, and journalists filled the Grand Theater. And at the center of it all was Sebastian Duval, a man known not only for his mastery of the piano, but for his devastating critiques. Sebastian had made and broken careers with a single review. Tall, silver-haired, and unyielding, he sat in the front row, arms crossed, waiting to be impressed or disappointed. Tonight, however, the final performance slot had raised eyebrows. She wasn't listed in the brochure. She hadn't attended rehearsals. She hadn't even been seen at the pre-gala meet. Her name appeared only as a last-minute addition, handwritten in black ink. Lillian Hart. The murmurs began as the ushers guided her to the stage. She was slight, barely more than 16. Her steps were slow, guided by a white cane. She wore no jewelry, no designer gown, only a plain white dress and ballet flats that tapped gently across the stage top. And then, the whisper, "She's blind?" Even Sebastian raised an eyebrow, amused. He leaned toward the event director beside him. What is this, some kind of charity stunt? Is she even going to play or just feel the keys? The crowd chuckled lightly, cruelly, thoughtlessly. But Lillian didn't react. She simply bowed toward the piano, positioned herself carefully, and sat. Her fingers hovered over the keys, trembling slightly, not with fear, but with feeling, with focus. Then she began. No introduction, no nod from the conductor, just pure fluid motion. The first note rang out like a soft drop of water falling into a well of silence. What followed wasn't a famous concerto. It wasn't Bach or Chopin. It was something else. Something the crowd had never heard before. It was gentle, at first like the hush of morning mist over a lake. Then it rose, with the weight of sorrow, yearning, and beauty that twisted into joy and broke into something utterly divine. Notes like sighs, chords like thunder, and in between, silences that screamed. She played a memory, a journey. A soul laid bare. People stopped breathing. Phones were forgotten. Critics forgot their pens. Even Sebastian, the titan of judgment, sat forward, eyes wide, breath held. She wasn't reading sheet music. She wasn't guided by a conductor. She was telling the story with her fingers, the story of being overlooked, of sitting alone at lunch while other children laughed, of pressing her ear to an old cassette player to learn notes by sound, of hearing her mother cry behind closed doors, unsure how to raise a child who couldn't see. Of hope born in darkness, of light felt through music. She played like her entire life depended on it, and when the final note came, she didn't finish with a flourish. She simply released it softly, as if letting go of a breath she'd been holding for years. Silence. A thick, sacred silence. Then a single clap from Sebastian. Then another. And another, until the hall roared in a standing ovation. People cried. Some wept openly. The event director covered her mouth. The violinist in the pit sat stunned. Lillian bowed her head, unaware of the visual reverence before her. She stood, nodded gently, and was escorted away, still blind, but having made the world see her. Later that evening, reporters swarmed Sebastian for a quote. He removed his glasses, looked directly into the camera, and said, "Tonight, a blind girl taught me how to see." Asterisk. In a world obsessed with sight, she showed us the power of sound. In silence, she was mocked. Through music, she roared. And the world will never forget the night Lillian Hart made even the proudest man bow his head.